Any other audience. It was one that brought together almost the entire key political players in the country, including the president, the prime minister, and the vice president. The setting was also relevant in central Kenya, or Mount Kenya region by extension, and Moi began by highlighting the gap left by two departed central Kenya leaders, John Mishuki and Njenga Karume.
Na si kitu rahisi kuchaza sehemu waliokuwa wanachezea.
Then the political nature of his message became clearer for the gathering as the retired president advised central Kenya leaders to help President Kibaki to tackle the effects of the vacuum left by the deaths of the two political icons, and dropped what has been seen as ringing endorsement of Uhuru yet again.
Ni juhudi zenu viongozi wote kusaidia rais, councillors, wajumbe wa bunge na wote ambao wanashikilia mambo haya, hasa Deputy Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta. Wakati kama huu.
Well, to some, Moi was merely acknowledging Kenyatta.
He always cut the in control, a man exercising political power to the fullest. Feared he was, and with an iron fist he controlled the country's political scene.
Mwingine anasema Moi amebewa powers. Powers gani ninazo? Kwa chama cha KANU, powers ufanyie nini powers?
He always cut the image of a man in control, a man exercising political power.
Amebewa powers. Powers gani ninazo? Kwa chama cha KANU, powers ufanyie nini powers? Kweli watu wameniogopa hata mimi nikikaa. Katika kontinenti la Afrika kwamba kuna mtu anaweza kuwacha power ya urais.
When I retire, I have something. I retire with it.
Msichana na mvulana anamwambia msichana I love you. I can even jump over the fire. Na akaandika chini akasema I'll see you on Saturday if it does not rain. Sasa mnajua mapenzi gani hiyo? When I was a young boy, I went to school and we were learning a song which was saying at that time, and I suppose the teacher was coming from Northern Ireland, and it was saying there is a sweet girl in Tipperary. So at that time, I thought the best girl is found in the Tipperary and nowhere else. But later I discovered that we have the best in Africa, and therefore we must teach the things we think are good for our people.
Mwai Kibaki, naapa kwamba nitakuwa mwaminifu kwa Jamhuri ya Kenya.
President Mwai Kibaki was sworn in by Chief Justice Bernard Chunga. 2:09 p.m., the familiar green presidential standard, which has dominated state functions over the last 24 years, was lowered for the last time. And up went Mwai Kibaki's white presidential standard. His speech was harshly critical of the administration of his predecessor.
Fellow Kenyans, I am inheriting a country which has been badly ravaged by years of misrule and ineptitude. There has been a wide disconnect between the people and government, between people's aspirations and the government's attitude towards them. I believe that government exists to serve the people, not the people to serve the government.
President Kibaki pledged to restore the
Arap Moi emerged from the country's official residence of the head of state after having what sources said was his last get-together meeting at State House with his former deputy members of the cabinet, top government officials, and his two sons. He left for Uhuru Park to officially hand over power to Kibaki.
It's a handover ceremony. Tulikuwa hapa kuaga mzee na yeye ameenda ku handover.
In a convoy of 20 cars and outriders, he took off, leaving his former lieutenants behind, some of whom took the opportunity to thank the electorate, while others had something to complain about.
I would like to thank the people of Sabatia who have elected me for the last 3 consecutive terms. And I believe that if it is their wish that somebody else represents them, then I would have to respect that particular wish.
I am happy because the people of Transmara did not vote me out. I was voted out by the Electoral Commission because all the agents of my opponents were taken to be presiding officers.
Then, the incoming organizing the residence for the new president. Then, shortly after 2 p.m., 2 army choppers to escort the outgoing president to his home in Kabarak landed on the grounds of State House. Then, a clearly somber mood as Moi made his last official journey to State House to hand over the residence to President Mwai Kibaki. Soon, Kibaki made his triumphant entry into State House in a convoy of 20 limousines and outriders under tight security. After a short handover ceremony, it was time for Moi to go home. Moi came to this house at the age of 54 years and left at the age of 78, and he could be the last president to occupy State House for that long. Moi came to this house at the age of 54 years and left at the age of 78, and he could be the last president to occupy State House for that long.
Shortly after 4:30 p.m., these Kenya Air Force choppers carrying the immediate former head of state and his staff arrived at his Kabarak home in Nakuru district. Immediately after alighting, the Air Force handed back to Moi the presidential standard. Then his immediate family members, led by son John Mark and grandchildren, were also at hand to receive him.
The Armed Forces of the Republic of Kenya.
Emilio Stanley Mwai Kibaki was born on the 15th of November 1931, the youngest of 8 children from a family of subsistence farmers living in Nyeri. His intelligence and aptitude for learning manifested from a young age, and in 1947 he qualified to study at the prestigious Mangu High School in the then Kiambu district. His star continued to rise in academic circles after he was awarded a scholarship to Uganda's renowned Makerere University in 1951, where he pursued a Bachelor of Arts degree in economics, history, and political science.
Officially leaving singlehood, Yvonne Kibokosia, daughter to songwriter and musician Susan Kibokosia, walking down the aisle to meet her longtime fiancé, Raila Jr., the youngest son of Prime Minister Raila Odinga. The Prime Minister wearing a different hat, that of a father and father-in-law.
Now, the second thing I will ask the parents to do is just to say one word. All right.
As the two officially joined in holy matrimony at the Windsor Country Club in Nairobi.
And with this ring, I thee wed. In the name of God the Father, and God the Son,
and God the Holy Spirit. Amen.
And with blessings from both families, it was time to celebrate.
Sunshine or rain, I'll be there.
And in the spirit of love and togetherness, political leaders put aside their political differences and joined the Odingas in celebration.
Junior is my third child. Oh, let me not be possessive. Junior is our third child.
All the times, at a time like this, there are always a lot of advices. And my advice always, don't follow people's advice. Live your own life, and you will not have a problem at all.
It's very, very important to them and to all Kenyans.
Our standard in terms of circumstances to meet with President Kibaki and Kofi Annan or not?
Yes, David, the question has never been about meeting with President Kibaki. I've said I'm ready to meet with President Kibaki. Even yesterday with Mr. Kufua, it is Kibaki himself who refused to have a meeting because we had said we wanted to have some kind of arranged talks, but he of course completely refused. It is on the document which has been prepared by his own people. So I will be very ready to sit and talk in the presence of Mr. Kofi Annan.
Activities in the political arena in the last 3 weeks, leaving no doubt that the scramble for William Ruto is on. 3 weeks ago, he confounded even his political allies when he met his former ally turned political rival, Prime Minister Raila Odinga, at the private residence of an influential businessman.
If you happen to come across the Prime Minister, tell him William Ruto is looking for him.
Ruto playfully denying meeting Raila, even though sources authoritatively confirmed that the meeting took place and the discussion centered around a possible pre-election deal between their political parties ODM and URP. Shortly after meeting Raila, Deputy Prime Minister Musalia Mudavadi came calling with the same intention to deliberate a likely pre-election deal. And in the last 1 week, Ruto has held a series of secret meetings with Deputy Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta to lay the groundwork for a pre-election arrangement between their political parties URP and TNA.
Politics is a game of interests. It's not a game of permanent friends or eternal foes.
His statement prompting the all-important question, why the scramble for William Samoei Ruto, who is also in the Kibaki succession contest on a URP ticket?
If he does not become king, because I doubt that he will be the prime king mover, in the sense that he will have the Tosha magic, do the magic that Raila had in 2002. Wherever Ruto will say, whoever Tosha, if he says Raila Tosha, Raila will become king. If he says Uhuru Tosha, Raman will become king. And I think that he is actually consolidating his support on the ground for purposes of later selling it to the person he'll say Tosha to.
In his
1998 as a Hebrew word means to shut up, to close up, or to stop. You are not only forming numerical numbers, you are also forming a Hebrew word.
This was 2 o'clock.
How many constituents?
In accordance with Section 5 of the Kenya Constitution, the Electoral Commission of Kenya is satisfied that the presidential candidate, Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, has received the highest number of votes, was elected as a member of parliament for Baringo Central, and has received a minimum of 25% of the valid votes cast in at least 5 of the 8 provinces of the Republic of Kenya, and is hereby declared the elected president of the Republic of Kenya.
I mean, you only need to look at today's... I was coming to check on what is happening about this one state fast. This is the one to see what is missing a lot.
He will still be a fraudulent president. He will not be genuine because he has rigged his way to that position. And they will have no moral authority whatsoever. Because if you are not accepted by citizens whom you are going to rule, then you're going to rule them by force. So he'll have no moral authority whatsoever.
Moi and the Electoral Commission the benefit of doubt. And we asked Kenyans to go out and vote, which they did. But we did not know that Moi and KANU had rigged elections to this extent. And the observers, the international observers, have not helped the situation, have not helped at all.
Kibaki, Odinga was educated abroad, and he, like his opponent, is one of Kenya's wealthy elite of the poor. While promising to defend the underprivileged, he vows to bring change to the country and stamp out corruption in Kenya. Is he a man of empty promises or a new future for Kenya? Well, joining us now, our guest in Nairobi, Rachel Odengo. She's a senior correspondent at the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. In London, Topi Liambila. He's chief editor of the Kenyan London News. And in Oslo, Stephen Kabera Karanja. He's a senior researcher at the Norwegian Center for Human Rights. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining.
Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta by a very wide margin. It is not likely that the margin can be eliminated. That means, on the aggregate, Honorable Kibaki has majority votes. He has also scored over 25% votes of the registered voters in 7 out of the 8 provinces. The Electoral Commission therefore declares Honorable Kibaki the President of Kenya.
This opportunity to thank the entire party, and in particular the chairman, President Daniel Arap Moi, for his unfailing support, and show my respect for his statesmanship, his monumental role in this smooth and peaceful transition, and for his dedication and service to this truly great nation of Kenya.
Preparations for handing over power kicked off in earnest. December 29th, marking the end of an era, ushering in a new dawn. After 40 years, the Independence Party KANU was handing over the reins of power to NARC Alliance. A day that had its own fair share of political intrigues.
Moi said that the election has taken place, Kibaki has won. And I must go and hand over because
9 candidates contested this election. The results conveyed to the Commission by returning officers through the statutory forms, Form 16, the one I was showing you, this form, are as follows. This form are as follows. Honorable Moi Kibaki, 4,584,721. 4,584,721. Mr. Kukubo Nixon, 5,927. Honorable Kenneth Matiba, 8,046. Honorable Alonzo, 879, 903. Bishop Pius Mwangi, 9,667. Joseph Ngacha, 21,171. David Ngede, 5,976. Honorable Raila Odinga, 4,352,993. 4,352,993. Rajput Nazlin, 8,624. This means Honorable Moi Kibaki is the winner. The Commission therefore declares Honorable Moi Kibaki as the President of Kenya.
I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I thank you, Allah, in order to give us more.
Kenya began to be Kenya. And thou art our...
Then I pray to you, God, to grace this morning and
Mimi Mwai Kibaki naapa kwamba nitatenda kazi zangu za urais kwa Jamhuri ya Kenya kwa uaminifu na kutimiza wajibu wa kazi hizo kwa bidii na kwa moyo mkujufu, na kwamba nitawatendea haki watu wote wa mujibu wa sheria, mila na desturi za Jamhuri ya Kenya bila uoga, upendeleo, uba wala chuki. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu unisaidie.
Asanteni.
I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in order to give us more.
Kenya began to be Kenya. And thou art our...
Then I pray to you, God, to grace this morning.
Mimi, Raila Amolo Odinga, naapa kwamba nitakuwa mwaminifu kwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya na kuitumikia kwa moyo wangu wote, na kwamba nitahifadhi, nitailinda na kutetea katiba ya Kenya kwa mujibu wa sheria iliyowekwa. Ee Mwenyezi Mungu nisaidie.
Honorable Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Trade.
Nitakuwa mwaminifu kwa Jamhuri ya Kenya na kuitumikia kwa moyo wangu wote, na kwamba nitahifadhi, nitailinda.
Of politics, speeches mean little. They're crafted with the audience in mind and perhaps don't tell the real story. But picture speak is a different matter. The power of pictures to tell a story without words remains almost unrivaled. And in Kenyan politics, it is the little things you see that give you a feel of what is happening around you. And when President Kibaki arrived at Parliament buildings, see the smiles on Kalonzo and Raila's faces. Well, unlike in the recent past, there was little consultation or chatting as the two principals walked rather out of step. And Kalonzo was in a rush to take the seat of the leader of government business, a seat said to be coveted by the Prime Minister too. And so the two sat side by side, but Raila preferred chatting to Uhuru, with little signs of any conversation between him and Kalonzo. And there was William Ruto enjoying every moment of this afternoon, chatting with a host of judges, having a hearty laugh with the Chief Justice, Ivan Gisheru. He was in a good mood, certainly, and so was Uhuru Kenyatta, as the two shared some words. When the president warned against the politicization of the fight against graft, one Professor Samuel Ngeri was left smiling every mile of the way. Aha, who said they're permanent enemies in politics? Najib Balala and Hassan Joho have a serious political fight at the coast. But at Parliament buildings, they looked like the best of friends consulting. Well, in politics, today's picture is tomorrow's anomaly, and there will be plenty of reverse roles in the hours, days, and years to come. Abdi Osman, Citizen TV.
Is he reckless? Are they locked in a room? Or are they sitting?
Holding 6 elections in a day, to me, is a big challenge. Maybe so, in terms of bringing the materials and what have you, that might be okay. But I'm more concerned about the voter. Not all our voters are educated. And to be told to cast votes for 6 candidates, I think it is a very difficult exercise. They will have to look at 6 ballot papers and to pick in each ballot paper the candidate of their choice. It has always been difficult even for them to choose a candidate from 1 ballot paper. Now they are going to do it to 6. I can see a big challenge to the voter and also to those who are administering the election, because it means the voters may take too long and you may not be able to complete the exercise within the period you had allocated. It means you're allowed to break and go again tomorrow. So it wouldn't be one.
Of registered voters were 14,352,533. Total number of votes cast was 12,330,028, representing a turnout of 86%. Since Uhuru Kenyatta has received 6,173,433, he has received more than 50.07%. He has also received more than 25% in at least 32 counties. I therefore declare Uhuru Kenyatta the duly elected President of the Republic of Kenya. Thank you and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you. Asante. Slowly, I think so far, so yes. Yes. Thank you very much. And I look forward to yes. Thank you once again, Your Excellency. Thank you very much.
This is Senator George Haniri. Yes.
From Senator Bob Bihiga.
George Haniri. Your Excellency. So much. Nasir. Nasir, mzee. Sorry.
Very late.
Yes.
Nasir.
Yes. Kamket.
Thank you.
Well, delighted to see you.
Thank you. Yes. What? That means in other countries, you he was the one who was saying it was.
Did you actually run?
Yes, I was a victim of
The same character.
Analytica. Yes. Regards from Mama. Ameniambia nikupatie salamu.
Very much indeed.
Yes.
As mine.
I will definitely do that. I will definitely do that.
Yes. Thank you.
So
we can excuse them.
This leg here.
Yes.
Yeah. They corrected it. They're making noise.
Yes. Many people have not known
what it means by unity.
Yes.
Once you start one, you can easily split and you build a mountain program.
Exactly. So you see, they didn't understand, they are misunderstanding this.
Yeah.
Because all of them are looking at 2022.
Yeah.
And I'm telling them, let us first now bring the country together.
Yeah.
So to unite the country and speak with one voice as one people.
Yes.
But
the unity with Uhuru with you and so on.
Yes.
That's the best for the country.
Exactly.
You can be built properly without hatred.
No, without hatred. You see, I saw that we were going the long routes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, let me say that again. I hereby declare Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta and Mr. William Samoei Ruto as President-elect and Deputy President-elect respectively.
Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta, waheshimiwa wote wenzangu kutoka governors, senators, members of parliament na MCAs. Hamjambo? Hamjambo tena? Nafikiri vile imesemekana hapa sasa inaonekana tunarudi kazi. Kwa hivyo wacha nianze. Harambee! Sasa nafikiri hiyo mambo tena imerudi. Harambee! Jubilee! Jubilee! Sasa story imeanza tena. Kwanza, mimi nataka nichukue nafasi hii nimshukuru Mungu kwa kutupatia ushindi mkubwa tarehe 8 mwezi wa 8. Hata ingawaje
that there were no security features required on these forms?
It is not a requirement of the law.
It is not a requirement of the law?
No.
But did these forms have security features?
Yes.
So meaning if they had, they all should have?
Abundance of caution. The commission, out of abundance of caution, are the ones who designed the security features.
Okay.
Yes. And my Lord, we have explanations. It's just that there wasn't enough time. Because when you scan a copy, you can actually lose some of the security features. But all I'm saying
Mr. Mita, before
is
you
that
move,
the Forms
Mr. Mita,
34, yes.
Before you move.
Yes, my Lord.
How do you explain Nyali in that form? And the serial number, or lack of it?
Yes, there is no serial number, that's admitted.
What does that mean?
If I had time, I would take instructions. But if you go to the next column, my Lord,
yes,
it says it is signed by 2 agents or
Queens, yes. Because of the decision of the Court of Appeal in Civil Appeal number 105 of 2017.
Annexures to this report, the annexure is a document that our representative has written handwritten notes.
Before I read that determination, I want to say this. The greatness of a nation lies in its fidelity to its constitution and a strict adherence to the rule of law. And above all, the fear of God. Having said that, I would now like to read the determination of the court. The hearing of this petition was concluded on Tuesday. 2017 presidential election was conducted in accordance with the principles laid down in the Constitution. Having carefully considered the above issues, the following is the majority decision of the court with 2 judges, the Honorable Justice Ojwang and the Honorable Justice Ndungu dissenting. As to whether the 2017 presidential election was conducted in accordance with the principles laid down in the Constitution and the law relating to elections, upon considering inter alia Articles 10, 38, 81, and 86 of the Constitution, as well as Sections 39(1)(c), 44 and 44A and 83 of the Elections Act, the decision of the court is that the first respondent failed, neglected, or refused to conduct the presidential election in a manner consistent with the dictates of the Constitution and inter alia the Elections Act, Chapter 7 of the laws of Kenya. Number 2, as to whether there were irregularities and illegalities committed in the conduct of the 2017 presidential elections, the court was satisfied that the first respondent committed irregularities and illegalities inter alia in the transmission of results, particulars and the substance of which will be given in the detailed and reasoned judgment of the court. The court, however, found no evidence of misconduct on the part of the third respondent. Number 4, the integrity of the election. The court was satisfied that they did, and thereby embanning the integrity of the entire presidential election. Before I proceed, I would now like to allow my 2 colleagues who are dissenting to read their views before we read the final orders. On 8th August 2017 was not conducted in accordance with the Constitution under the applicable law, rendering the declared results invalid, null, and void. Number 2, a declaration is hereby issued that the third respondent was not validly elected and declared as the president-elect, and that the declaration is invalid, null, and void. Third, an order is hereby issued directing the first respondent to organize and conduct a fresh presidential election in strict conformity with the Constitution and the applicable election laws within 60 days of the determination under Article 143 of the Constitution. Regarding costs,
Nairobi. Opposition supporters delighted with the Supreme Court verdict nullifying the result of last month's presidential election.
Thank you, Jesus. Yes, when injustice becomes a law, we will resist the order. And I'm telling you, God is on our side.
Opposition supporters have poured onto the streets of Nairobi, celebrating the verdict of the Supreme Court. They are shouting the praise of their leader, Raila Odinga, as well as the president of the Supreme Court, Justice Maraga. The police have restrained them here. They say they are free to celebrate as much as they can, but they will not allow them beyond this point into the precincts of the Supreme Court, about 100 meters away. The ruling is unprecedented in the history of Kenya and Africa. Kenya's election commission said President Uhuru Kenyatta won enough votes to secure a second term. His rival Raila Odinga said the election was rigged and challenged the result.
Ready? Fellow Kenyans, let me begin by wishing you a great afternoon. The second, which is the most important, let me ask every single Kenyan, wherever they may be, whatever they may be, whoever they may be with, take the hand of your brother, take the hand of your sister, and shake it and say, Amani, peace. Peace. And I repeat again, peace. Your neighbor will still be your neighbor. To every single Kenyan is peace. Let us be people of peace. It has made us a people. It is God that has enabled every single Kenyan.
We are the ones who have then open, we go back. Yes, we don't, but not to them. Not to them. Yes, not to them. No, not to them. These are our security. He's an officer like yourself. Yes, we have security. Yes, behave yourself. Please, this is a high court. This is not a police station. Yes. Okay. There's no problem. No, stop being unreasonable. Right, Honorable Prime Minister, Prime Minister, we respect you. We came here in the morning and he allowed us to come in. Why are you here pretending to be greater than others? Can you open for our boys to come in? This? Fungulia Musalia? Fungulia? Fungulia Musalia? No. Musalia Fungulia? Nani? You play the key. Security. I'm the one who brought the case to the court. It is not your case. And they have allowed you. I'm the one who decides. We respect you. I'm the one who decides. I respect you. I'm the one who decides who comes with me. Honorable Prime Minister, I respect you. There is no respect you are showing. Respect is not about pronouncement. It's about behavior. Yeah, what a breath. Go back. Can you open the gate? Will you please open the gate? So Musalia won't come in? No, Musalia will come in. Open. Only Musalia. Come in. This boy is a policeman like you. Hata kidogo tunatoa yake. Asipite hapo na bunduki. And he's a policeman like you. Who is this boy in glasses? You must be ashamed of yourself. I don't care. Okay. You must be ashamed of yourself. No, don't. Yes. Hello.
At the moment, we are not going to allow you.
Why?
To the airport.
You won't allow us.
We are elected
leaders. Do you know what we are going to do?
I am an elected leader.
Do you know?
Not
Elected by Kenyans. Do you know why I'm going to the airport?
Why would I be stopped from going to the airport? Okay, you should give us time so that we can clear you and give you a VIP.
What clearance do we need?
You should give us time, please.
What clearance do we need? Unajua vizuri Raila amefika, kwa nini tusikubalishwe tuingie kwa airport tumkaribishe kama mkubwa wetu? We have just come in our cars. Should we come on our knees?
You should have that courtesy.
But we are courteous. Yeah. We have been very courteous to you, very respectful
so,
to you.
Mheshimiwa Gladys Wanga, the issue is you would like to go and receive your party leader, isn't it?
Yes. The people's president.
They're aware that we are supposed to receive them.
And we have given permits, we have announced on TV, we have announced on radio, we have said we are coming. We are not armed, hatuna mawe, hatuna bunduki, hatuna chochote. Hatuwezi uwa mtu. You can search us.
Search us and check us.
Search everything. Yeah. We will not allow ourselves to turn to a dictatorship. Wewe unajua hatuna makosa yoyote ya kuingia katika airport. Hakuna makosa yoyote ambayo sisi tumefanya. Mutatuua sisi leo. Mimi naingia.
No. Ladies, take action.
Shoot me. Shoot me.
Ladies, take
shoot me.
Better come on.
Shoot me. Shoot me. Shoot me.
Huyo mheshimiwa.
Shoot me. Kill me. Kill me! Kill me!
Don't try! Don't try!
Kill me!
Don't try with it. Leave her alone! Leave her alone! Leave her alone!
Kill me!
Maandalizi ya kumpokea kinara wa NASA Raila Odinga yamekamilika. Mapema hii leo wabunge walikagua uwanja wa ndege wa JKIA.
Why are you refusing access? This is my place. This is your place. Where do you stay? I stay here. Were you elected by any person? Let me ask you one question. Were you elected by any person? Let me ask you one question. Yes. Do you know this is a restricted area? It is not. To who?
Ila walikabiliana na maafisa wa usalama kwa muda.
We are going to walk. Tutaingia bwana, hii constituency yako bwana. Don't touch me.
Kabla ya kuruhusiwa.
Mbele, Raila Odinga, peleka Kenya mbele.
Muda mfupi baadaye, mbunge wa Embakasi Mashariki Babu Owino na mbunge wa Ruaraka TJ Kajwang na mwanasiasa Steve Mbogo wakakamatwa.
We will be back here tomorrow with the multitudes. We will then proceed into town.
I don't intend to lead the 1 million people onto the runway. That is restricted. Nobody's going to go to the runway.
So I'm appealing to all those millions of people that voted for Baba to come
to JKIA. We welcome Baba.
And I would like to urge the Inspector General of Police to either provide security or be a source of insecurity tomorrow.
Tomorrow. And I tell the public, come here at 6.
This is good enough.
You cannot be stopped.
Huku wabunge wengine wakielekea uwanjani Kibra japo kwa kupitia kwenye njia za mkato.
Kesho ninatangaza tutatoka watoto, tutatoka vijana, tutatoka wasichana, tutatoka wazee, tutatoka na kuku.
Kwa hivyo sisi kama watu wa Nairobi tunataka tujaze kule International Airport. Na kutoka huko ni mwendo pole pole kama harusi.
Hata Uhuru alipotoka kule Hegi alilakiwa hapa Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Me and my people of Vihiga ambao juzi walipitisha mswada ya kusema ya kwamba hawatambui serikali yako, hatukutambui.
Bunge hao wakiwataka wafuasi wa NASA kufika uwanjani JKIA kwa wingi hapo kesho.
Tuko watu milioni 1 nchi hii.
Process. Anybody can log in on the public portal. We have made it available to President. In accordance with the law, the Constitution and the law, I, Wafula Chebukati, Chairperson of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, hereby declares that Ruto William Samoei of ID number 6847208 has been duly elected as the President of the Republic of Kenya under the provisions of Article 138 of the Constitution in the presidential election held on 9th of day of August.
Kati now says the 4 commissioners who have broken ranks with the commission wanted him to alter the presidential results to force a runoff. Chebukati, who has broken his silence after being accused of acting without consensus from the other commissioners, also says the 4 dissenters or dissenting commissioners were kept abreast of all the results of the presidential race until the last minute when they changed tune. Our very own Brenda Wanga begins the broadcast.
2 days after announcing the final tally of the presidential election result in chaotic scenes at the Bomas of Kenya, and the denouncement of the same by a section of the commissioners and the Azimio One Kenya Coalition Party, embattled IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati has finally broken his silence on the divisions within the commission that he has led since 2017.
We therefore decline to take ownership of the said results because the aggregation resulted in a total exceeding the percentage of 100, which cast doubt on the accuracy of the source of the figures tallied, and when we demanded that we verify our record, the chairman declined.
In a statement to newsrooms, the chairman of the commission says the 4 commissioners, Juliana Cherera, Francis Wanderi, Justus Nyang'aya, and Irene Masit, are being dishonest in their accusations against him. The 4 have accused him of what they term as lack of transparency in the final stages of tallying of the presidential vote result. But Chebukati says the 4 wanted him to alter the final tally moments before the scheduled announcement of the results at 3 p.m. this Monday. He says, and I quote, "The 4 commissioners, Juliana Cherera, Francis Wanderi, Justus Nyang'aya, and Irene Masit, demanded that the chairperson moderates the results for purposes of forcing an election rerun contrary to their oath of office. This is tantamount to subverting the Constitution and the sovereign will of the people of Kenya." End of quote.